Today we are going to be looking at fleshing out your goals, listing the best strategies for success, and I'll be revealing the number one reason why people never reach their goals. Nice and quick, let's get straight into it. All of the information here is applicable to your goals across 3 months, a year, 5 years or more. You just have to adjust that timeline. First things first, define a clear and specific goal. The way we're going to do that is to employ the SMART method. So grab a pen and a notepad and follow along. It's currently NaNoWriMo, so I'm going to be using my NaNoWriMo project as my inspiration for examples to explain this. S, specific. Be as specific as you can. If you have no clarity on what you're doing or what you're aiming for, then how do you know when you've reached that? Equally, how do you know when you're veering off course? Be specific in your goal. My goal for NaNoWriMo is to complete 50,000 words of my novel. Let's get more specific than that. I want to complete the first draft of 50,000 words of my young adult fantasy novel, which will have a total word count of around 90,000 words. An inciting incident will take place at the 12% mark, so that's 10,800 words in, or day 7 of my NaNoWriMo journey. We can get even more specific, but let's keep it somewhat short just for the video's sake. Find your specific target and write it down now. M, measure. You need to make this measurable. Put in place milestones that will allow you to recognise when you are on track. For example, I'll be looking to hit my inciting incident, as mentioned before, at the 12% mark. So that's one milestone that I know. And I know it's going to take around 7 days to get there. Lay out as many milestones as you need to be able to measure your progress and set yourself a deadline for that milestone. A, attainable. Ensure you're setting an attainable goal. I know I can't get a 90,000 word novel completed in 30 days, and I know that NaNoWriMo will be a challenge, which, I mean, that's kind of the point, but 50,000 words in 30 days is attainable, and breaking it down, we know that we have to do 1,667 words a day to be successful. Break your deadline down into a set of milestones, like before, but also figure out the timescale that each milestone will take to reach. If you're looking to learn to drive, for example, and you need 25 lessons before you take your test, a year and a half of lessons, 1 lesson a week for an hour. That's more attainable than doing one 25-hour lesson the day before your test. R, relevant. This one speaks for itself, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Make sure your actions are relevant to keeping you on the course in your pursuit for success. Continuing my example of the book, if you're writing a chapter and it's not progressing the story in any way, then you're not keeping it relevant. Stay focused and review when things are branching off into tangents. T, time-based. NaNoWriMo is 30 days long, so I already have my time scale. But if you're saving up for a house deposit, then set yourself a deadline and a timeline to achieve that. If you want a £300,000 house and you need a 10% mortgage, then your goal is £30,000. Now, if you can save £1,000 a month and you're looking at a timescale of 30 months to achieve this, about 2.5 years, then stick to that. The goalposts don't move across the pitch during a football match, and the goalposts don't shrink, so neither should your goal. 30 grand, 30 months, set it, put it in motion. Same with the book. 50,000 words, 30 days, 1,667 a day. Set it in motion. Remember that breaking your goals into smaller tasks can make them more manageable. Stay motivated by keeping up the small wins and giving yourself rewards at each milestone. Track progress. This is very important. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Without any measurement in place, your proximity to success can't be seen and no improvements can be implemented. And one last tip, creatives, is find an accountability partner. Find communities, message friends or colleagues, or you can be brave and comment below, I need an accountability buddy, and hopefully someone will pair up with you. But no matter what it is you're working towards, a gym, a house, climbing the corporate ladder, murder investigation, having someone holding you accountable and measuring your progress is a good way to stay on track. Now for the thing where most people go wrong, and I would say that this is 90% responsible for failed goals. And the point I'm about to make is actually formed of 2 parts. Faux prioritization. Faux meaning fake or false, and prioritization is just priorities. This either means that you've not put this high enough up in your priority list, or that you don't actually want to work towards it. You're lying to yourself or you're lying to someone else and saying that you do want to do it without any action. Now, let's break this down into its contributing factors. A lack of persistence. Many individuals will give up on their goals when faced with obstacles, setbacks and challenges. They may lose motivation, they may become discouraged, or they simply quit when things get difficult. But if you're not challenging yourself, then you're not growing. Keep pushing forward and use the same techniques mentioned as above, such as setting clear goals and having accountability partners. Lack of consistency. Achieving most goals requires consistent effort over time. People often start with enthusiasm, but then it wanes and they fail to maintain a regular discipline. Remember that your progress towards goals is incremental. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Rhythmic results are preceded by rhythmic action, and if you're being inconsistent in your actions, you're going to be receiving an end result that's inconsistent to the one that you've envisioned. Remember, it's important to understand that success in any endeavour often involves encountering difficulties, and those who persist and remain constant are more likely to overcome those difficulties than those who don't. I'll see you in the next one, creatives. Bye bye.